I saw Jeff pull out of the driveway at 12 o'clock on Friday. The dog was in the car. And then the next day I got a call from his best man. And it's difficult on all of us. And I'm going to try to do a little tribute here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is going to light the Yorkside candle, and I picked a great man to do it, Elliot. Okay, I'm going to say it in English. The human soul is a light. May it be your will that the soul of Jeff Dockswell enjoy eternal life along with the souls of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, Leah, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Sora, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, and the rest of the righteous that are in Gan Eden. Amen.
Amen.
Alright, I'm going to read from the Tehillim, but we have our expert. Just give him a few seconds spiel on what Tehillim is. Come on, Stu.
Okay. Very simply, 1,331 years ago, King David became the king in Israel at age 40. During his 40 years as king, the 150 Psalms were comprised with those working with him and himself that became the book of Psalms that we repeat today as King David's Psalms. The Psalms are well known. Of the 150 Psalms, I believe that only one Psalm, was Psalm 34, that was directly related to King David. And about 25 Psalms were written about King David, and all the rest were a compilation. David was a young man who started off as a shepherd and became a harpist. And his music was renowned throughout all of Bethlehem and Israel at that time. And the last part is, we all know, he's the guy who slew Goliath.
Okay, so I spoke to the rabbi this morning and he said we should read Psalm 23. I gave it to some of you. And 123, I'm going to read a little bit of the Hebrew, but mostly in English. So Psalm 23. Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov, shevet achim gam yachad. Jeff and Hashem will appreciate that. Okay, let's go to comments, right? Okay, next. Anyone wants to say Kaddish for Jeff? Everyone has to stand up. And when you hear the words Ormain, you say Ormain. Then after that, if anyone wants to talk about Jeff, they can. When you look in the mirror, you think you're 20 years old, but your body is whatever it is. That's what I learned for the first time. We were playing tennis the other day. I told the guys, sit down for 10 minutes and drink water. I never did that before. Taking a long ride, take breaks, get someone else to drive you. We are not supermen and women. And that's that's the message that I...
We know it's fallible.
Right. Okay, anyone wants to come up and speak, they can, one at a time. And I thank you all for coming, brothers and sisters. It's a great turnout. There's a videotape. We're going to send it to the family, and I guess so we can somehow get it so everyone can see it, right?
Yeah, I can make it available.
This is Michael. He's assisting us. Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Just for a few minutes.
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm going to sit down now.
I was here
Yes, Michael?
the other day, probably Tuesday or Wednesday.
Loud if I allow it.
I was here talking to Jeff Tuesday or Wednesday before he left, sitting there with Sparky. Probably half the reason I came was to visit Sparky. Sparky Jr. And anyway, we had a good time talking. He's been a good friend. I'm going to miss him a lot. And he was telling me all about the treatment and the setup and the pre-op that he went through, and how perfect everything was, and he was looking forward to the surgery and moving on from that, and he felt very optimistic. So he'll be missed by a lot of people, I know for sure. I'd like to propose something. I'm going to try to do it when I get out there on the tennis court. A little memorial to Jeff. If you all played with him, you know his little routine before he played. And I would like to see people doing that before they play, just as an honor of Jeff.
Why don't you show us?
You know, it's the little...
Jeff Shuffle.
It was
Jeff Shuffle.
It's the funniest thing, and so I'm going to do that in honor of him, and that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
I met Jeff 4 years ago when Toba and I moved into the development, or I should say, we bought in 2013, but we didn't come down here until December of 2016. But in those 4 years, I come down for a long weekend. And the first time I came down, and I live right across the street from Jeff, we started talking and schmoozing, and after talking for 15 or 20 minutes, he said, "Barry, here's the combination to my garage. I have 2 bicycles. If you or you and Tova are here and I'm not here and you want to go ride a bicycle, help yourself." This was the kind of man she was. Very friendly, very caring, and he will definitely be missed.
Go ahead, just come on up.
Hi, I'm Paul. Hi. I was not great friends with Jeff. I knew him for quite a few years, and I just want to tell a small story that comes to mind all the time when I see Jeff, and I've told it many times. So, I took up tennis almost 7 years ago. When I first came here, I never had played tennis before, and all of a sudden I was in the league. And my partner in my very first match was Jeff. And I was doing, as I tend to do occasionally, terribly. And he came over to me, he stopped the play, and he came over to me and gave me this huge bear hug. And he whispered in my ear and he said, "It's okay." And from that point on, I grew confident and I played better that day. But also, I've passed that forward. I've given other people what I call a Dockswell, and I just didn't name it today. This is something I've been doing for years. When people are down on themselves, I go over and give them a hug and say, "This is a Dockswell." So, we'll miss Jeff a lot.
Come on. Next.
I see at least 3 people plus myself that went up to the Poconos and enjoyed a couple of weeks up there. I don't know if Jeff was trying to sell us a house, but he was so gracious. He took us out on the lake. He just made us feel welcome there, and it was a highlight of the summer. And just too soon, Jeff, just too soon.
I think he invited
Anybody
a number
else?
of
Step
us.
up.
He invited a number of us who didn't make it.
Anyone else want to speak?
Yeah, I'm Steve. I must say I'm Steve, I'm an alcoholic. That's it.
Welcome, we know Steve.
Force of habit.
Besides that, Steve.
Anonymity. Yeah, I don't know a lot of people here personally. I go and play my tennis and I do whatever I do, and Jeff was a couple of doors down, and he is he's a wonderful guy. You know it. You just know people. You have we have that belly barometer that we have. I do it anyway. I know good people when I see them. Everybody here is in that category because you're here for Jeff. Yeah, real quickly. I mean, there's a few stories. I see him walking the dog, and we talk a little bit. And I guess a couple of days before he left, he told me he was leaving, and he told me about the surgery he was getting, and packing the car. I said, "Let me give you a hand with the." He said, "No, I got it. I'm fine." He was like, "I got it. I'm covered. I'm fine. I'm fine." And like gentlemen mentioned before, we never know when that time is up. As we get older. So And the other thing is, you know, I needed a ladder one time, and he was walking by. He says, "I'm going away now, but I'll give you the key, give you the combination. Just put it back when you're done. And if you need help when I get home, I'll come over and look at it." He's an electrician, and you know, that's the deal. So God bless him. May he rest in peace. Thank you.
Anybody
All
else?
right, yeah, I'm gonna make this real fast. I'm across the street neighbor. My name is Raymond, and I live over there. I play tennis with a few of you guys, so I feel almost embarrassed because Jeff was such a good neighbor to me when he got that car. He took me over to Billy's house. We looked at it. When I first came here, my friend Bob over there, who has the same house as me, helped me so much with things around the house. But unfortunately, Jeff was like my handyman. Not good for me, but you know, I feel so bad. So the kids came over. I said, I need bikes. He took all 4 bikes from his top. They were all down. His kids weren't in because of the pandemic. My kids took a chance. And he got helmets, and he did the whole thing. I just felt so terrible. Rick, don't worry about it. And then there's a bike that Helen never uses, and it's right in my way, and he's got it in a spot all the way up, so it doesn't annoy me. And then she wants to ride with the kids for Christmas. Again, he had to take it down, and I think the guy's going to have a heart attack. Unfortunately, because they're on the way back. But this is the thing that's killing me, you know, besides seeing his house every day. So before I left, I said, I got these lights. I wanted, you know, Sloan has it at his house. I want these lights. And I wasn't there to have him hold it. He's doing it and all that. And I felt bad, but I just wanted him up because I'm selfish. And it's killing me because he was such a good guy. And I love the way he did shuffle. And he helped me anytime, anything we needed. And I didn't take advantage. Just a sweet guy. So thanks for all coming out. He's a great guy. That's all I got.
Anybody else?
Thanks.
Come up, don't be shy.
Can I do?
Sure, go ahead.
I didn't know Jeff that well, but every time I would pass him on the tennis courts, he'd say, "Hi, Mike." He always had a nice something to say. I would say, how are you doing, Jeff? And I just remember one time, years ago, we played a team match, a league match, and he said, "Mike, I'm really nervous. I'm not used to playing," and I mean, he thought I was a better player, and which is funny in itself, but he wanted to please me, and he wanted to win at the same time. And I said to him, "Jeff, just do your best. It's fun." And as we played through the match, we got him to relax. We actually won the match, and he had a big smile on his face when we got through. And that's one of the experiences I remember as between myself and Jeff.
Anybody else? Just step right up.
I know Jeff not only through being here and living here. His cousin, who I'm sure people who live on this block know him, Larry, is a first cousin of Jeff, and I know Larry for about 50 some odd years. He lives over in Venetian Isles, and they were very, very close. It was a very close family. And Larry used to take care of the house when Jeff was away and come here and check everything out. And he was just a loving, loving person. And I can't tell you, also tennis. I was captain of the Grand Slam team last year. Bobby was on it, Michael and Jeff. And the one thing about Jeff came up to me, he said, "Elliot, you're my captain." He says, "Whatever you want, whenever you want, I'll play whatever you want me to do. That's it. You're my captain. You take care of it, and I will do it for you." And that's the kind of person in general that Jeff was. He would do anything. He didn't make any big deal about he asked him to do something, he just did it. No qualms. Just a wonderful person. I know his family, my friend Larry, and the family will miss him tremendously.
Anyone else? Step up. I know things I didn't want to discuss right now. Jeff was given a bad deck of cards in life, and you would never know it. He just played the best cards he had. And even though his physical body is gone, his spirit is still here. So I thank all of you for coming, and just keep Jeff's spirit in your soul and your mind forever. Thank you.
Thank you for giving this story.
Nice job, Bobby.
If anybody wants to, I mean, there have been a lot of contributions so far. We have an envelope up at the tennis court. We have an envelope at the tennis court that we're going to make a donation in Jeff's name to a tax for.